righty, gang. Welcome. Here we go. We got David Bacon, we got Daniel Rubin, and then we have the world famous Tiffany Vague right here, right now. We're going live. It is Thursday. This show is sponsored by ReelQuick Fishing. So we're going to show you all about the ReelQuick Fishing. The reel seat that Daniel and his buddy designed is second to none. These things are incredible. We're going to show you all about that today. We're also going to talk a little bit with Tiffany about blanks and blank selection, and Dave Bacon's going to give us a rundown on a nice quiver of rods to have when you get out there on the ocean and go fishing. And myself and Dave Bacon, our favorite fish to fish for is calicos, and there's so many different ways to do it. We'll kind of get into what the different rods are today for that. But first of all, gang, on a sad note, my buddy Steve Campbell, you all reached out to me yesterday. It was rough trying to put together the show yesterday. And for the last that I heard, he's still hanging with us. So he's in the hospital. And, I don't know many more breaths of air he's going to take. But hopefully he's listening today. I know he listened to the whole show yesterday. So thank you all for all your love and all your concern and sending out all that love and concern for Steve. And we really appreciate it. I know that his wife really appreciates it from the bottom of his heart. Steve Campbell's been a part of this fishing industry for forever and ever and ever. Back in the day when he commercial fished albacore, he was known as Captain America because he carried the biggest American flag on his boat. And when you saw it on the horizon, commercial fishing albacore, you would see the flag for 15 minutes before you saw the boat. It was charging up the line, coming across. And he was always on the fish, and everybody else was running to Steve to get into the fish. And then he went on
the flag, huh?
Then he went on to be the best air-conditioned dude on any yacht, anytime. Everybody wanted to use him. What was that, Daniel?
I said everybody was looking for the flag. Hey, where's
that flag? That was dead giveaway. Captain America. He was the man. And the stories, I'm so glad that I got to spend all the time I got to spend with him, and the trips up and down the Baja and everything else. Steve was just such a special time in my life and a super special friend, and you will be missed for sure. So that being said, why don't you start off today, Dave, by telling us about the different types of rods we need when we get out there fishing, and then we'll jump in with Daniel after that for a little bit about the ReelQuick reel seats, and then Tiffany can take us home with all the technical stuff because that's her expertise.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with the fishing stuff. I was always amused running a bait and tackle store, which Tiffany and I did for many years. When people would come in and ask if there's a rod they could get that would kind of cover all bases. And of course, the answer is no. And my favorite example of that is, when do you see a golfer go out with one club in their bag? And it's the same exact reason. No one club is going to do everything that golfer needs done during a run around the courses. And so, they got me to thinking about, okay, when I go fishing, when I go out on a boat, and how many rods would I like to take? I'd like to take about 6, okay, to have the right stick for kind of most things. If you're going out on a party boat or maybe a private charter or even out with friends, you might not know all of what's possible out there, and you might not know exactly where you can go and you can't go, but the skipper hopefully does. And so what you fish for is kind of a function of a lot of different factors, some of which you may not going in. So what is the minimum number of rods that I think makes a workable quiver for any given trip? And I'll say 3.
Yeah, that's what I would say, 3.
I want more, but for the sake of this discussion, I'll say 3. I'm going to want the lighter one. I'm going to want 10 to 20 pounds. Now you could go as low as 15 pounds. And maybe if you're going backpacking up to high basins after trout, maybe you start with a 4 pound. But for general purposes, saltwater and freshwater, I'm going to say 10 to 20 pounds. With that, I can live bait or swim bait cast for calicos, which, as Captain Dave Henson mentioned, happens to be his and my favorite fish. And I can go after all kinds of things. I can use that as a bait stick to jig up mackerel or whatever. And there's a pretty broad spectrum of things that I can do with that, even including like boiler rock bassing or casting to shallow rocky reefs for even rockfish and whatnot, which you can't do that till April here in California, but when we can. So there's a fair amount you can do with that. My next stick, and before I leave that one, if you're freshwater fishing, that might be a good one to cast for bass that you got to pull out of heavy cover. So you don't want a real light rod because you got to pull them out before they dig in. Might be good for, trolling for trout. Might be good for smaller catfish. So it has a number of applications. The second rod I'd go for would be like a say 15 to 40 pound stick. And that one has lots of applications too. That's kind of your general one for medium type of work. You can do rockfish and lingcod just fine with that. You can do a number of trolling applications with that. It's really a great jig stick. So for the smaller, to go back to that one, I might opt for a parabolic rod or one with a lot of action. For this one, medium stick, 15 to 40 pound, I'm going to say, I would like to have maybe a graphite rod with a fairly fast action, because fast action sticks we kind of came up with some decades back, which me and Captain Dave Henson go back to, for casting jigs. And we were casting them for the 3Bs, bass, bonita, barracuda, and we were casting baits and jigs and whatnot to kelp patties for medium-sized fish. And so that and a graphite like that, or other materials that Tiffany knows more about than I do. I know how to wear out rods really good. Tiffany knows how to build them really good, which is a nice mix of talents there. But the graphite has super sensitivity, which I liked in that application. And in freshwater, boy, that's going to be your stick for the bigger catfish, and maybe northern and whatnot, where the lighter one might be good for walleye, things like that. And then the third stick I would opt for would be, that'd be at least 50, preferably 60 pound stick. Some people might want to go higher than that. Kind of depends on what you're doing. In the last several years, we've had the most amazing bluefin tuna bite any of us ever remember. And so in that case, when you're fishing for the big ones, you might want even heavier than that. But for most tuna applications, that 50 to 60 pound stick is going to be a workhorse for you. And it holds other things. You can also troll for tuna with that. And if you want to go do one of my favorite things to do, I don't know if it's my favorite thing to do. It's just that it works so well. It kind of sounds like my favorite thing to do, like bounce balling for halibut. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of trouble. There's no getting around that. But dang, it produces halibut and flounder and whatnot more than anything. So those three sticks, and in freshwater applications, there may not be as many applications for that heavy stick. So that may be more about saltwater. But those 3 sticks are kind of my go-to beginning quiver of rods to take out on a trip. And there's so many applications that you might use 1 or 2 for. And if somebody else doesn't have the appropriate stick, you could do something like, let's say you're drifting for halibut. You really want live bait drifting for halibut, and you want super sensitivity. The way I drift for halibut is so sensitive. I don't look like a sensitive guy. Okay, I'm not really a sensitive guy, except for when I'm drifting for halibut. Then I'm super sensitive, and I want light line. I want fluorocarbon line. I want almost no ground tackle. I'm going to use a slider to put the line through, and then have a very small weight, and then a length of fluorocarbon leader, probably 24 inches, and then a kind of a surprisingly small treble hook, but a strong treble hook. And I'm going to take like an anchovy or sardine or small mackerel, and I'm going to pin that hook in the top of its head so that the hook doesn't get hung up on the bottom. And so the halibut laying on the bottom, looking up at that bait fish, don't necessarily see the hook. So that's kind of the way I do that. And either that light outfit, that 20-pound stick, or the medium stick up to 40 pounds, they can both do that just fine. So if you have a buddy that doesn't have the right rod with him or her, then they can use one of them, you can use the other, they both work just fine. But that's my quiver of 3 to start out with. And so for rod builders out there, I'm going to suggest start out that way. If you're freshwater, your 3rd one might come down from the heavier one. But for folks that do saltwater also and go after some big fish, which can include thresher sharks and everything else, those are the 3. And so I suggest you start building those 3 for yourself, because you're going to show those to a lot of people as you build your business. And whether or not you realize it or not, people that see your good rod building work are going to want some, and you are going to be in business. It's the way this thing works. So start out with those. When people come to you and ask your advice on, well, what should I have you build for me? The answer is always going to be, well, tell me what you're going to do with it, because you're building a tool for a job, and the tool depends on the job. So get all the information about what they're fishing for, where they're fishing, how they're fishing, and how they handle a rod as you can. But if you start by telling them, let's build you a quiver of 3 rods that are going to cover most bases for you. And the smaller one might even be a spinning rod instead of a heavier one, instead of a bait cast. If you've made the transition to a bait cast or conventional, you probably don't want to go back to a spinner. But the reality is, for the majority of the people out there, that light outfit being spinner is going to have its advantages. Those 3 rods are the beginning of a great quiver. And, Tiffany, when we get to her in this podcast, she has so much technical information that she can share with you. And I'm going to just add here, before turning it over, that Tiffany has a new class, 15-week online interactive rod building class starting up on the 24th of this month. There's an early bird special to the 17th. The class is $180, which is dirt cheap for a 15-week course, for which you get a free rain shadow blank. And then if you take advantage of the early bird special till the 17th, it drops down to $130, which is just an unreal, almost unreasonably low price. But that's what it is. And you will learn to build that quiver of 3. You will learn to build all the quiver you want up to the big quiver. And you will learn how to do it right. As Doc Ski says, Tiffany will teach you how to do it right first time out of the box. So that's coming up. And seriously, I suggest people take advantage of that. And even especially tackle shop owners listening in, think about taking your favorite person, putting them through Tiffany's class, and then you will have an ace person doing your rod repairs and rod builds for your shop. Those of you looking to build a big business or a small business, any business, you can get started in this business for like $1,000 total. And what kind of business do you start with that? So it's almost like a no-brainer. Sign up for this class. Just go to vaguerods.net and do it. I'll turn it over now.
We also have another new class that's starting up for those that have already completed the first 15-week course, or those who have been rod building but are interested in learning how to weave. We do have the weaving class that's going to be coming up that starts January 8th. You'll be learning all the basics of weaving, how to create the patterns, how to create the left list for it, how to set up a weave, which can be an all-day ordeal, and how to, do the weave. And then in the class, you also get a free wedge, which is used for weaving on rods. And then we also have in this class how to create and design your own custom grips. That's been a huge request. Everybody wants to learn this. And so in this class, I'm actually teaching how to do the Tiffany Special Grip.
That's something you have hardly ever let out, but people absolutely love the Tiffany grip because it is the toughest grip out there. Mm-hmm. It's strong enough for railrod use, but the real beauty of it, even on a lighter rod, is no matter how slimy and slippery and wet your hands get, it still gives you just a beautiful grip on there without slippage. It's great.
I have a question before I forget. It's not about the rod necessarily. It's about what David was talking about, the halibut. I've drift for halibut with live bait with a very, very slow tip because you need that sensitivity. But I've never done bouncing the ball thing. So does the ball hook the fish so you don't have to have that sensitive tip when you're bounce balling? It's more necessary when you're just drifting with the live bait?
No, bounce balling is a totally different way. Bounce balling is a form of slow trolling, and I generally do it with a 3-pound cannonball.
So it hooks the fish.
Well, it's the business end, which might be a hoochie, might be a live bait, whatever. That hooks the fish. The cannonball helps set the hook.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we don't, we never do a wild hook set with a halibut anyway because they have soft spots in their mouths and we don't want to pull it free. But just kind of a medium hook set like that, and that's really all you need.
Okay, but you don't need that super soft tip when you're using the ball bouncing technique, only when you're doing the live bait trick.
Right.
Okay.
Bounce balling, you're using such a heavy weight, and it's heavier because you're trolling with it. So it's, you can't get by with a super light rod tip there. You have to have fairly substantial rod tip with just enough action. Tiffany and I put on seminars about that, and they're about at least 45 minutes long. So I can't really go into it here in detail. But yeah, it's a whole different way of fishing halibut or flounders, any of those.
Awesome. Thanks. I didn't mean to take the thought out.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Tiffany. Carry on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hold on a second. What I saw bounce ball and Daniel was there is no finesse. The thing just climbs on. He just, when we were bouncing, and it's the boringest way to fish for me. So I did it once and I was shocked. We got 5 legal halibut in about 3 hours, but once you learn how to bounce ball, there's no talent really involved. It's just, you're dragging this thing on the bottom and these fish don't nibble. They just grab this thing and hail it. And you just wind up your halibut. It's not like you and I or Dave were talking with the soft tip and you got to let them run. That's why we fish with the sliding sinker, so that you guys, when Dave was talking about sliding sinker, we leave that sinker on the bottom. When the fish pulls it, he doesn't even feel the weight, and it all matters. And it makes you go, what are we doing here? Because when you're bounce balling, that is the most violent strike. And the first time I was like, what do we got? We get a shark or something? The guy goes, no, it's a halibut. And I'm like, what? And he winds it up and it's a halibut. And I was like, okay, well, there goes everything I've learned about halibut my whole life. Bounce balling's a whole different thing. And you're using a broomstick, Daniel, for lack of a better. You're just using something, because you got like Dave says, you got a 3-pound cannonball weight. So you can't really have anything soft tipped, because it's just not going to work.
You know, Captain Dave, maybe one day on a different podcast, Tiffany and I could come on and do a seminar on bounce balling for halibut.
Absolutely. Because it's a wild way to do it. You can throw a bunch of fish on the boat real quick.
Perfect.
So Daniel, what do you got? What do you got going on there?
What do I have going on? You know what, the folks know the product. You guys know the product that's out there, the ReelQuick product. I kind of want, and I'll show it to you guys now, the ReelQuick product. You guys have seen this. You know, I want to talk about what's going on with ReelQuick right now, more so than showing the product, Dave. I'm waiting for some numbers for production and production cost. Everything that we built up until now has been prototyping and R&D, and we've been fishing it for a few years just to make sure it's all right. I'm waiting for production numbers now so we can start manufacturing this product at a decent price, so I can get it into the hands of all the people at a decent price. I just had a long conversation with Tiffany about this. So we are trying to acquire a manufacturer, and I think we've got the right place, and hopefully we do. And we're waiting for numbers now. And as soon as those numbers come back, it's going to make decisions for us. It's going to tell us if this company's feasible. Honestly, the company's not feasible at the price that we're paying right now, because we made 100 pieces of each. So you can imagine making 100 pieces of something in the United States in Oxnard down the street. It's going to be astronomical. We had to do it because we had to be standing in front of the machine with the guy and doing the fitment on all the parts that we have. But now it's time to get this thing into everybody's hands. Everybody's welcome. We have great deals on the product now. We're doing 25% off on all the rods. I have plenty of stock and reels back here that we can give at cost, you know, including the foot. That's all good stuff. I'm just patiently waiting, and I'm patiently putting this out on the internet and gaining people, and everybody's calling me about it, and everybody's waiting for final pricing on this, Dave, Tiffany, and Dave. As soon as we have that, we are going to be off to the races. I've been kind of assured by the people that I'm talking to that the pricing is going to be way cheaper than what I paid for this stuff. Soon as we know what that pricing is, all the product I have on the shelves now is going to come down to that pricing, because then I know that I can replace it for the production pricing. So everything I've done up until now has been research. And that's basically what it's been. I've been having a great time with it. I don't rely on this right now for my income. I hope to in the future, but we're just patiently waiting, and everything just seems to take way longer than I imagine it to take. And I'm an alcoholic. I want everything now and my way and this, but I have to sit back. I have to relax and chill. It's coming. I know it's coming. I actually called and lit a fire under them the other day, and it's happening. It's going to be happening. You guys have any questions about this stuff, Dave will put the QR code up there. My website is on the banner. You could see it right next to Dave, ReelQuickFishing.com. My name's Daniel Rubin. I'll put my number here, but it's on the top of every single page on the website. Go on there, call me. Let's see where this is. Can't even see. Dave's got the QR code over my thing. So ReelQuickFishing.com. It's right there on the freaking reel seat. ReelQuickFishing.com. It's what the name of the company is. It's the website. Go check it out. Go check out all the parts and the pieces, and give me a call if you have questions. I'll make a screaming deal for you guys. Screaming deal on some beautiful rods that we have made by Seeker. We have some made by Rain Shadow. We have plenty of Okuma, sponsor of the Your Saltwater Guide show. Okuma's just been there for this show from the beginning, or at least since I've been here. And I'd promote them. I've adapted to this one, that one, that one. But Okuma's on the top of my list right now for people I've adapted to. They're the friendliest ones that are with me right now. I'm friends with the guys at Accurate. I'm friends with the guys over there at Abbott. They're right down the street from me. Okuma's giving me special attention. They're collaborating with me on the internet, and I have more Okuma reels in here than I have of anything else. Please call. You guys have any interest in this? My phone, it's on all the time. The only reason why I won't answer it is either I'm in a meeting or I'm asleep. One of the two. But look, I'm here. I'm here for the long haul. I've been sponsoring the show, not necessarily to go out and sell a bunch of overpriced product, because I know that the prices I have are from production or from prototyping prices. I understand that it's high pricing, but I got people buying it. Because you know what? People see this reel seat and they get it. I mean, 9 out of 10 people get it immediately, and it don't matter what the cost of it is. They want it. We got plenty of rods in the world. We probably have 700 rods out there being used right now, and it was all done with prototyping prices at astronomical, insane prices. That's not for me, but my partner, Steve, he sees something on the internet that's insane. Even if it's astronomical, he pushes the button. And there's people out there. We have people out there that have been buying the product, but I want to get this into the mainstream. I need to get production pricing at a decent rate for everybody so the masses can have it. And that's what we're working on right now, David. It's coming. Dave's on the phone, but Mr. Bacon and Tiffany, that's what we're working on. I'm patient. We're waiting. They're doing their due diligence to figure out what the pricing of it is. And it's going to come out, I believe. They're telling me it's going to be much less. This is going to be a deciding factor whether the company's feasible or not. I can't make the company feasible if the pricing's not right. If I can't get the pricing down to a feasible level, I got a crap load of gear that we can go fish, you guys, right? But it's going to be a hobby at that point. Hobbies are good. I make my money somewhere else. I'm not relying on this to pay my rent. So I'm cool. I'm patient. And I've been sponsoring the show because I knew sponsoring this show would get this product shown to people all over the world. And I've gotten calls from South Africa. Somebody wants to distribute the product. I'm like, you got to wait. But I'll keep your number. And he keeps calling me. He's like, I love that product. I got to have it. And I've just, you know what? I've been sponsoring the show for almost a year now with the purpose of getting this out there. Dave made me sponsor the show because before I was sponsoring the show, I was blowing up the comments. And finally he called me. He goes, dude, you can't do that anymore. Can't do it. Can't do it. Even though he said ReelQuick like 20 times on the show, not referring to ReelQuick Fishing. Nobody could have a conversation without, oh wait, let me get that for you real quick. Constant. Dave couldn't stop himself. And the end of the thing, he got so frustrated with me, he almost freaking lost his mind on the last one. Anyways, I'm sponsoring the show. I'm a proud sponsor of the show. We're not selling anything because it's so expensive, but that's not what my purpose is. Red Bull, and somebody can correct me, they gave away like $30 million worth of freaking Red Bull before they started selling it. The drink tastes disgusting. I don't know if you've ever tried it. It's fucking nasty. They're making a crap load of money. But you know what they're making their money on now is people skiing off of cliffs and freaking squirrel suits going through holes in rocks. So
or
anyways,
squirrel skiing.
or skiing. So Dave and Captain David Bacon, I'm just patient right now. We're waiting. I want everybody to know how insanely cool this product is. Dave can tell you, the top Dave up there, Captain David Hansen, can tell you he used it in Alaska, and that's all he used in Alaska. It's a bitchin' product. It's superior. So here's another thing. There's, I'm not going to take anything away from anybody that's inventing new stuff, but we have enough lures on the planet to catch any fish that's on the planet. The rod blanks that are out there, they might be improving on them, but there's been rod blanks for, however many years. They created a system for connecting your reel to a rod 100 and something years ago. And it was crappy from the beginning. I'm sorry. They're not compatible with all the reels. Some reels are compatible with it. Some reels are not. This is consistent across the board, even though I haven't adapted to all the reels on the planet yet. Every reel I've adapted to fits exactly the same on all the reel seats. There's no difference. There's no compromise. It's a better system, and it's going to catch on. There's going to be a tipping point at some point where somebody realizes, or multiple people, or everybody in the industry realizes that this is a superior way to connect your reel to a rod. The pricing has to come down comparable, or maybe a little above that old system or that other system, to make it worth people to use it. Anyway, somebody correct me on all that if they want to. I'm convinced it's a superior product. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, there's no question about that. No one's gonna argue with you about that. It's just, you got to get that price point down, and that's what you're working on. And
yep,
we got good people working on it with you, and you guys will get that going, and it'll all happen, and it'll happen very quickly when it does happen, like it happened for the brown water people. Can you imagine? I don't even know how I missed this, Dave Bacon. We can sell, listen, we can sell brown water for $10 a cup, and they will line up. Can you imagine? We can sell brown water for $10 a cup, dump a bunch of sugar in it, get $15 for the cup, and they'll line up. They'll line up in their cars. They'll line up standing in line.
Captain David Bacon, he's talking about Starbucks, by the way.
Never would have thought I would see that. Never, ever could somebody tell me they would stand in line to get a cup of brown water when you and I grew up by paying 10 cents for a cup of brown water. So,
Tiffany, what's the question on there? The last one.
We're not worried about that. I'm talking right now. Shut up.
Sorry.
Listen, I'm in the middle of something right now. So brown water sells for $15 a cup. That's crazy. No one would have ever thought that, Daniel. Nobody. It's not a superior cup of brown water. Let's be honest. It's a cup of brown water, but they got everybody convinced you need this cup of brown water. Your thing is not that. It's not that. So these people are going to jump in. I've used it. I've fished with it in Cabo. I've fished with it in Alaska. I've fished with it in Southern California. There's no question about it. Any other rod, when I put my reel on it, my reels don't always fit each rod. They don't. The reel seat doesn't flush up. There's play. There's jerking. No matter how tight you make those ferrule screws, it's jiggling. It's moving. And then I watch these booger eaters that have fishing TV shows that fish with their left hand holding the reel and lifting the reel and winding with their other hand. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And those, could you imagine the torque on that reel seat fishing that way? That is the lamest thing I've ever heard of in my whole life, but they do it. They have TV shows. People are paying phenomenal amount of money to watch them fish as wrong as you possibly can fish. So when you build this thing, Daniel, and people are standing in line to buy it, just remember, they stood in line to buy brown water.
Dave, thank you for that. I wanted to add something because I had a thought when you guys were talking about how many rods do you bring on a boat. Now, I bring like 15 rods on a boat because I'm bringing my gear to show everybody else. But you could bring those 3 rods that David Bacon was talking about and have 9 reels with different line on it. So if you have a 20 to 40 pound rod, you can use it as a 20-pound rod with 1 reel. Then you could go into your bag if something else is happening, and you could pull out that 40-pound reel and slap it on there. Somebody, I think, had the question of how do you change that so fast? And you could slap on your 40-pound reel.
Daniel.
Quick. Yes, David.
Justin's asking, how have you recently changed it?
How have we recently changed it?
I don't know. Does he know something I don't know?
Well, let's see. I don't know if he's referring to something else. We changed the design on the Winthrop sleeve that has not gone prototype yet. We raised it up a little bit so it clears the bending, but I'm not sure if that's what he's at. Tell him to elaborate on the question and we'll answer it. But we haven't changed anything. We did build some more of them, but we built these things 5 years ago. And the only thing that we've changed, Justin, is that we've added reels to the repertoire over time. He says yes. I think he says yes. I don't know what the yes means. I don't have my glasses on, but anyway, so we've had these reel seats for the last 5 years. We made enough of them to last this long. We made, a bunch of rods, but we have added reels over time. And this is one of the later ones that we did, which is Dave. We did this one just for this show because this is probably one I wouldn't have had on the top of my list because this foot only fits 1 reel, and then they discontinued it. So I went and bought all the reels I could find to put the feet on. I'm sorry, Justin, if that's not what the question was, but it's showing the product, how it goes on that quick. You could bring three rods on a boat and 9 reels and switch them out to different line capacities in that quick. Right? That quick. You couldn't do it pulling brackets off and clamps and there goes your ferrule nut or whatever out your bracket screw out the scupper and you're on a boat at sporty weather. You don't even want to change your reel. This you could do the standing on your head and just slap it. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Throw it back in the bag. Oh well, my line's messed up. Toss that reel, put another one on.
Hey, Daniel,
yes.
Somebody's texted me and asked me a question.
Okay.
On the ReelQuick reel seat. Is it work universal for left-handed reels and right-handed reels?
Sure. Okay. So good question, because some added to that, some people want it to come off from the back instead of coming off towards the guides. Mm-hmm. If I put it on from the back and I flip the reel seat, the foot has to turn around on the reel so it's on the right side. If this was a left-handed reel, I would have to flip the foot around. So this foot is a weird one because they've got a weird feature on it where I can't flip that foot around. So just for that question alone, if we were using an Okuma Fishing, the foot is symmetrical. So you just flip the foot around and then it goes on the other direction. Now, if it's a left-handed reel, this foot sits on here. They just flip the reel on the other side. There's no change in it. But if you do want, at the same time, want the reel to go on from the back, now you flip this reel seat around, the foot has to flip on the reel. There's some of them, most of them are symmetrical. This one and a Talica 810 does not reverse. Every other reel out there that I've seen is reversible. So yes, if you get an Abbott that's left-handed, an Accurate that's left-handed, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, somebody was watching, I guess, on a different, wanted to know if I knew the answer, and I was like, let me ask.
Yeah. So as as far as it coming off the reel going forward, you guys don't have to worry. Dave, did you ever have any worry about the pin not holding the reel onto the rod when you were fishing up there? It's not going to fail, but for the people that are worried about it, oh, sorry, I can't find it in instantaneous. Yes, I have one here somewhere. We did it the other way to show that booger eater. I'd like to say that at least once in my life. I feel like I have a little bit now. I have people that complain about that, and they're so worried that the reel is going to come off that pin and go flying through their guides. If that happens, it's because you didn't turn the pin and lock it in place. I'm not going to take any blame. You can't put enough drag on this reel to pull it over that pin. This would have to bend up and over the top of that pin. It's aluminum, guys. You couldn't bend that with pliers. Okay. This thing, maybe I'm going to say will pull 22 pounds of drag, maybe more, a little bit more. It's not enough to pull it over that pin, guys. Just rely on it. It's not going to come off. But if you want it to go on the other way, build your rod that way. No big deal. You could build it any way you want to. I have all mine this way. It works for me. I'm not worried about it. I got to tell you, I was a little worried in the beginning when we first started it, but it's been 5 years. We've been fishing it. It's never happened. It hasn't happened.
Past my 5-year test, all my students know that I do not give recommendations or my opinions on something that hasn't been around for at least 5 years. And the ones that are watching this are probably laughing because I can't count how many times they've asked me questions about products, and I just tell them, I can't give you an opinion. I haven't used it for 5 years. I do not know. But yours is past the 5-year mark.
Yeah, we have plenty of people I can refer you to talk to that will give us, the thumbs up on it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, show your room there. Justin says that looks like a tackle store.
It does look like a tackle store. It's a rod room.
We have a $70,000 3D printer. Anybody want to buy it? I'll give it to you for like 25% of the cost. We got a couple of rod wrapping machines over here. I'm trying not to do any work on the rod wrapping. I'm really trying to promote my product and sit around and wrap rods. We do have plenty of rods in stock right now that I would like to move. I want to pay for my trade shows, even though, like I said, I make my money in another place. I'd rather have the company pay for the trade shows than what I do for my rent and my food and all that stuff. So here, Justin, we have plenty of reels in stock that that I'll do these at cost right now. I've had them for display and for the trade shows and stuff. Plenty of reel seats in stock, you guys. Anybody want to come on board with us? Anybody want to try this out? I've been giving people these reel seats to try out and wrap on a rod for spec. Usually I'll set it up where after they sell the rod, they can give me the money for the reel seat, but I'll ship these things to you guys. We started to anodize these things in different colors just to show that we can do that.
Maybe that's what Justin was talking about, changes, because I only knew black.
Yeah, we made 5 of each of these, and we don't have any feet. All the feet that we have are here. We don't have any feet in different colors. But I was just talking to my partner, Steve, today. He wants to wrap a couple of rods in red. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but yeah, we have some reel seats in different colors. I did do the packaging, which I'm not a packaging guy, but I did this for the trade show at ICAST. We probably have to redo this with a pro, but this is me and I'm not a pro, but I did it. It came out okay. It worked. And we got some Okuma, all the McCarty's up here. And then, yeah, let's see. this might be one thing that we'll show, because this is the thing that we actually are developing now, that somebody down the street is making 30 of these, again, at an insanely astronomical price. But we need to have them in stock. I need to be able to show these, and I need to be able to, so this is a tip and butt system, guys. You have a tip to go on the front of this, and then the butt system. So this is a Winthrop, and we just pull it off real quick. There's the sleeve. Okay, you want to put this on where the rod comes off going forward, going up the tip, or we raised it up so when it comes off of this bending butt, when the reel comes off the bending butt, it's not hitting this knuckle here. So we raise the dovetail up just about, I don't know, a couple of eighths. May have been a 1/4 inch, or may have been just an eighth, just so it clears this. That's the latest change, Justin, that we've done to the model. And the guy's cutting these pieces right now, and I hope to have these things very soon. So this is something that I could actually get maybe some contracts from back east for some tackle stores that want this piece. This is East Coast fishing stuff, guys, or deep drop swordfish. We had made these already in metal. It wasn't compatible with the rest of our reels, but it did work very well with the Accurate. And we got a 287 swordfish on a part just like this. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it is. It's real cool. Hey, Gypsy Boy wants to know, will ReelQuick be at the PCS show in San Diego?
ReelQuick's going to be at the PCS show with Dave Hansen in the Your Saltwater Guide booth. And I believe Tiffany and David Bacon will be there too. We'll all be there. You guys can come and check it out. I have my own booth at the Costa Mesa show, but I've already committed to 4 shows this year, so I didn't want to commit to a San Diego as far as paying for a 10 by 20 booth again. But David Hansen has invited me to come and hang out and participate because I'm a family member of Your Saltwater Guide. We'll have the gear there. I'm not going to have a full-blown booth, but you definitely will come and see the gear. It will be there.
And you'll also be at the California International Boat Show too.
Awesome. With us. Yes, as a guest from VEG Custom Rods. That's going to be really fun. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and as we get done with the PCS show, both the Orange County and the San Diego show, we're going to roll right in to the California International Boat Show. I will be there on Saturday speaking. Dave Bacon will be there speaking. Tiffany will be there doing seminars every single day. She'll have a booth there. The California International Boat Show is going to be at the Anaheim Convention Center. You're going to want to check it out, gang. There's going to be lots of different boats, all kinds of different things going on. Tiffany will be there. I'll be there. Dave Bacon will be there. Daniel Rubin will be there, plus a plethora of other people, seminars and all kinds of stuff. The California International Boat Show goes on right after the PCS show. So this is kind of cool because the PCS show has kind of been the show for the last couple of years, and we're very excited, all of us are, to be at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. The California International Boat Show is a new show, which allows us to show our wares off to a different audience. Now, we like having different shows to go to. That helps us all out tremendously because it helps our industry, and it's all about helping the industry. There's no right show. There's no wrong show. There's no good reason to not go to this show and to go to that show. You want to go to all the shows because it supports our industry, which our industry has been under attack for a very, very long time. So adding a different show to the spectrum is way good. Now, Bill and his team put on one hell of a show at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. We will be there, and we will support every single person that comes to the show. It's going to be an absolute phenomenal show. But let's see what happens at Anaheim. We're all excited about it. We're going to be there. Hopefully you join us there. It's going to be April. It's going to be, what's the dates again, Tiffany?
The April 9th through the 12th.
9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Anaheim Convention Center. The next week or so, we'll be able to have a QR code. They're putting it together now so you can purchase your tickets ahead of time and come and join us at that show. Not taking anything away from Bill and the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. I mean, thank God. I've been a part of that since the very, very beginning when there was one little half a hall, 12 exhibitors. We were there. We've been there with them the whole time. Watched it grow. And we're hoping that this show grows in Anaheim. So come with us on the very first time the show's going to air at Anaheim Convention Center. We will all be there. We'll see you there.
Dave, we need to plug. I live in Ventura and my shop is in Oxnard. You guys are welcome to come to my shop. It's by appointment only. If anybody wants to come here, call me. Ventura, West Coast Sport Fishing and Outdoor Show. We're doing it. Dave's there. I'm there. Tiffany, you're there, right? We're all there in Ventura, and it's May, I think. I don't know the dates, but it's far off. May something, you guys. Adam and Ramos, you guys want me to plug this because we need people to come to that show. This is going to drag people from the Central Coast, the people that can't make it all the way to Orange County, that it's a little too far out. This is the show that you want to go to. We have a lot of the other the vendors are there. It's a nice show. Come and check it out. It's right on the beach at the fairgrounds. You can walk across the beach, walk across the parking lot and throw a rod and go catch a fish. Very cool show. We're going to be there with a bunch of our friends, and we're looking forward to that.
We got a question here from asking about if they can buy the components and stuff from the class for me. Yeah. What we basically do is in the classes, there's a free blank that goes with the class, and it's about, you get pick about 70 different, one from 70 different blanks. Sometimes it's even more. I show you a video of every single blank that's offered that you can pick from. And then you tell me which one you want, and that's your free blank from the class. It's not the same blank for everybody. It's, you have a choice because some people do freshwater, some people do saltwater, some people do fly fishing. Those are three completely different types of blanks, that you get to choose from. Then you can get your components for that blank. We go over in the class. You learn about the materials of the frame. You learn about the materials of the ring that goes inside the frame, and decide on what is best for the blank that you want, for the type of fishing you want, and what you're going to do with it. And you can get all of the components, the grips, everything from my website at up to 40% off of MSRP. Whether you're in the class or you graduated and, a year later you need a whole bunch of stuff, you can go back to the website whenever you want and load up on your stuff for up to 40% off. So you can't beat those prices.
Right, exactly. It's a phenomenal deal. I put the QR code up on the screen for your website, and I want to let everybody know that I've got something big to share with you. If you love boating, fishing, or just being out on the water and in great outdoors, you're going to want to listen up. The California International Outdoor Adventure Show is coming to the Anaheim Convention Center April 9th through the 12th, and this thing is going to be huge. It's packed with boats, gear, outdoor rigs, travel ideas, and everything that makes California lifestyle what it is. If you've been thinking about upgrading your boat, tow, overland rig, learning something new, or checking out what's happening in the world, this is the show you need to be at. I'll be at the California International Boat Show. I'm breaking down the exact tips and techniques that help you find fish faster, make better decisions on the water, and bring home results you can be proud of. If you follow my weekly game plans or watch my videos, you already know I like to keep things real and give info that actually works. Come spend some time with me, ask your questions, and get yourself set for the stronger season on the water. I'm fired up for the show. It's one of the premier events in California, and it's going to bring people together. So don't miss it, gang. Don't miss the California International Boat Show. It goes off in Anaheim on the 9th through the 12th of April. Yeah. And we're all going to be there, right, Daniel?
We're going. We are going to be there. I'll be on stage every day for an allotted amount of time, answering questions and giving the spiel about ReelQuick.
ReelQuick?
ReelQuick. The West Coast is May 1, 2, and 3, by the way, just so anybody wants to know.
Gotcha.
Come and see me in Ventura. I'd love to see you guys.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that closer to April.
Yeah.
It's kind of far out to get people fired up. Let's get fired up about the shows in
but like March. You found out yesterday, Dave, I'm kind of far out. So there you go.
Yes, you are. Hey, gang, I want to thank Tiffany and David Bacon for always being here on Thursdays. And Daniel, thank you for sponsoring the Thursday shows. I really do appreciate it. It makes a big difference. And I'm putting this out there, gang. Our live fishing shows, which go off, who knows, might have 1 a week, might have 20 a week. You don't know. We're fishing day, night. We're getting 50, 60,000 views on those things. There's always room for another sponsor if you want to plug your products on that show. As Daniel tells you, as Tiffany tells you, as David Bacon tells you, you can't get better exposure than right here. We touch a lot of people. We're getting somewhere between 10 and 30 million views a month, depending on what month it is. 10 million views a month is not a bad month for your product, gang. I'm just telling you. If there's anybody else out there that gets more views, jump on them. You have to advertise somewhere right now. And if you're spending money on print advertisement, I'm just telling you, gang, you missed the boat. It left. Print, nobody, not even these 3 people that are sitting right here. We don't read anymore. We look at pictures and we go, and if it's something we like, then we might go to the bottom and read what it is. But we're looking at a picture nowadays. I mean, Dave Bacon and I, we can't believe we're living in this world, but my God, if you're buying print ads, I want to meet you because you're going to be out of business pretty quick because nobody's reading them anymore. So get on the bus, get on the social media gang wagon, gang, because this is the future. Unfortunately, it is the future, and AI is taking over. So
get on those live shows, man. I've done a lot of lobster fishing, and it's super fun. In the middle of the night at midnight, you're coming back in all exhausted all day. You can sit in your bed and watch Justin's crew catching fish. And if you're lucky enough to have the Marines on there, they'll do a strip tease if they're not catching the lobster, and they'll strip until they catch lobster, and then they put their clothes back on. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It was so funny.
Oh, it's so cool. And you guys can watch it tomorrow night. Justin's going live tomorrow night, and he's also going live Saturday night. Tomorrow night, it's a bunch of team members from Your Saltwater Guide, and Saturday night, it's Tut and Larry and Mike. They're regulars. They go all the time. Tut and I have been friends for a very long time. They're going to go live on Saturday night. Justin puts on a hell of a show. Captain Al's going live in the Back Bay of San Diego during the day all the time, doing live shows at night, fishing lobsters. We got all kinds of stuff going on here, gang. You want to get in with the family? You got something to promote? I don't care. The people that are watching, they live in houses. They buy carpet. They buy roofs. They buy plumbing. We have roofers and plumbers, and we got every kind of thing. but we don't have your product on our show. Whatever your product is, you want to promote it right here. Get a hold of me, 949-374-0786. There's a lot of dead time out there when they're fishing lobsters. We'd love to show your ad. All right? Dave Bacon, Tiffany, we didn't let you talk much today, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
I'll make up for it next week.
Yeah, next. You know what I think would be fun? Going with what your father said. And next week, we plan on it. We promote it. You and Tiffany, we'll just sit back and watch. All I know is bounce ball. I went once. It was a real cool way to do it. But if you guys want to do next week a bounce ball seminar for the people and show the stuff that you use and everything, think about that, Dave. I'd be totally into it.
And how to build it.
Me too.
What do you think?
Let's do it. We'll do it.
All right, let's do it. We're doing bounce ball next week, gang. I know you'll all be excited. Let's go bounce balling next week. Hey, tomorrow, Cliff Gray and I. Cliff's coming on the show again. Cliff's been on Joe Rogan's show. Cliff's been all over the world. Cliff's a giant elk hunter. The guy is legendary. He's been all over the place, hunting and diving and fishing. And he used to dive out here on the West Coast all the time. And he sent me a message a couple of days ago. I got to get back on your show. He asked me, did you know they closed red abalone now till 2035? He posted about it on his website. He remembers getting them 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now we're not allowed to take them anymore. We're going to talk about red abalone. We're going to talk about all the different closures. We're going to talk about the California sea lion. We're going to talk about the wolves. Oh my gosh. Have you guys heard what's going on with the wolves? They want to buy some more wolves for California. They're buying these wolves for $1 million a piece, putting them in highly populated areas, and they're eating all the livestock. They're hunting children, and they're hunting adults. They're going to get us. These are monsters. They're not a dog. They're not your little pet puppy. These are monsters. They don't live in California because they're not domesticated, gang. You can't live with wolves. That's why there are no wolves in California. These people, Dave, they want to bring the grizzly bear back to California. These are wild, green-haired, pot-smoking, not the wrong with pot, but oh my God, it makes you think.
I can't
makes
be
you think
around.
kind of differently. What you know what would be good here? A wolf. You know what would be good here? A grizzly bear. Are you out of your flipping mind?
Population control. Let's drop some grizzly bears in the Santa Monica Mountains.
So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's going to be a great show. Cliff knows. Cliff's a big-time hunter. Not big time as Justin Bottrell, but he's pretty big time. So we'll be talking the ludicrousy of all the states that are bringing wolves back. It's kind of crazy. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching the show today. Have a great day.